And good morning. Somehow or another, it's Thursday once again. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. So glad that you could join us today. Right now it's 6:30 as we wake up and it's 20 outside. And if that cool brisk went by you and you thought, what was that? Well, that was the wind chill at 14. That's cold, isn't it? Shockingly, I don't know of any house fires that happened in the county or city last night, at least in Lauderdale. And I don't remember hearing of any. We had some car fires, but thankfully none of that's gone on. We don't need anybody losing their home during this due to fires. Thank heavens that's our case this morning. If I'm wrong, please let us know if you had something happen in your community there. We've got a lot of headlines coming up. We'll find out what happened in the nation as you slept, things that you need to know, things that are shaping America. We'll get to all of that in a few moments. Plus a weather detail, and we're going to be back at 7 o'clock once again for all things local. What's went thump in the middle of the night? We'll let you know. That's up and coming at 7 o'clock. Again, today's high should be around 48 as you're trying to dress, so that means a jacket all day. It does. Dress appropriately. Next week, we'll start getting back into the 60s. We'll tell you all of that. Right now, let's go to Collinsville. Let's get our good message for the day. Let's go to Collinsville First Baptist.
Throughout much of his comic book history, Batman, the Dark Knight, prefers to, in his words, work alone. The broody, introverted vigilante prefers nights to himself in the dark alleyways of Gotham City, where he can work and operate as he pleases. If he could help it, he'd rather not have to deal with coworkers like a red-caped flying alien with super strength, or a chatty 20-something who can run so fast he can manipulate time, or the actual king of Atlantis who can also communicate with fish. No, he's just the good old Batman who prefers to defeat his enemies the old-fashioned way, with his fists. This, however, gets him into trouble sometimes. When faced with a villain who grossly overpowers him, he doesn't have the backup he very much needs. You see, Proverbs 28:26 says that the one who trusts in himself is a fool, but one who walks in wisdom will be safe. Now, I wouldn't ever call Batman a fool to his face, but the wise thing for him to do when an overpowered villain enters Gotham is to call in some help. To try and fight by himself would be, as today's proverb puts it, foolish. So my encouragement for you today is to walk in wisdom. Proverbs 3 says to trust in the Lord and not to lean on your own understanding. Ask for help, solicit a trusted friend's advice, and act wisely, not foolishly. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. Don't forget they'll be having church services on Sunday morning, all around 10:15. There's most likely a church probably within 15 minutes of where you live. Find one. Might get something out of it there. How are you today? As we said, it's chilly, 20 with a wind chill of 14 as we wait for a high of only 48 today. I do have good news amongst bad news. As we look at this, it was 1967. We've identified one of our boys. He's coming home. He went missing in September 1967 in Vietnam. POW/MIA have identified positively U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Donald W. Downing of Columbus, Ohio, will be coming home. That's great news. As we look to other things that are going on, Odie and I were talking a moment ago how they're just not prepared for the coast of what's going on. No one knows how to drive it. No one knows what to do. The interstate is closed from Alabama border to Tallahassee, Florida. You can't travel it. It's just bad. This is really historic. Somehow or another, the east central Mississippi missed all of this. All of us south of us got snow. I'm glad a few of you got to enjoy it. And then on the other side of it, you're probably sick of it by now, aren't you? You can't go anywhere. It's good for about an hour. Yeah. And then you realize, the South's just not equipped for it. It's fun to build a snowman, but again, it's crippling the deep South. The further south we go into South Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, those areas that just aren't used to this. Bama, Lord have mercy. A Wisconsin man is accused, and we'll use accused. I think they got a lot of evidence on him of setting a congressman's office on fire. It seemed he didn't like the thought of TikTok being turned off. He's being charged with arson. Just not real smart to do things like that. Nancy Mace, she's a representative there from South Carolina. She is thinking of running for governor. She's been pretty strong so far. We'll see if she holds on to that and steps forward to run for governor of the state. This may happen, and I hear it a lot where I go across the counties and surrounding areas that I go to, of people that are concerned of foreign countries buying, well, American soil. They're launching an effort to ban the Chinese nationals from buying land in the U.S. There's a lot of foreign countries that own more dirt than we do. It would shock you if you were to look at just how much is owned by other countries. Something to consider. We'll see what becomes of it. Kobe Bryant's wife, Vanessa, is going to be coming out with a book honoring her late husband, Kobe, and her daughter. We wish her well with that adventure. She's been through a lot. Sad that even happened. What else has gone on this morning? He is announcing, Trump, when I say he, President Donald Trump is announcing who's going to be heading the Secret Service. This is of no shock. The guy that was standing next to him, somebody he trusts that's been with him 4 or 5 years, he's going to put him up for head of Secret Service, Sean Curran. Wish him luck with that. Says he's a great man and can plan. We had the head of Pepsi, didn't we? Isn't that what we had? Or Frito-Lay. She was in charge of potato chips there. That was a fiasco. Y'all know that. And I say that jokingly, but it's sad. And it's not that she was a woman. It's just that she couldn't do the job. Twice. The roof was too sloped. We all know that was she didn't know what she was doing. And again, a woman could lead. Don't take me that I'm trying to say that. It's just she wasn't the one. Oh, it reminds me of somewhere else, and I'll let that be. JetBlue is being sued. Now, I'm no lawyer, and I don't know how they tracked this back, but a couple was sitting in their home, and all of a sudden a big block of ice went through their roof. Fell off an airplane. Now, whether or not it was connected to the bathroom, if it was just a piece of ice, I'm not sure, but they've traced it back to JetBlue, and they're suing them. I guess you can do that by who flew over the house, who flew over the cuckoo's nest, flight aware, that type thing there. This is bad, and this is why anytime, and if I've got a police officer watching, maybe an ex-police officer, y'all know where I'm going with this as I bring this up. Domestic disputes. Be cautious, be careful. Never park where you can be seen, and never walk in front of a door when you go to a domestic argument. San Antonio is where we're going. Not one, not two, but 7 police officers were shot, one by one as they approached the door. Pop, pop, pop. Now, they're all going to be okay. They were all wounded in different areas, none life-threatening. But, wow, it's time for some retraining there, I think. And urge that, especially if you've been on the force a while and you got somebody new that's coming on that's never done these type things. Domestic disputes are awful. It will take the life of a police officer or anyone that's there to help because they're mad. They don't think, they do anything. That's when people are at their worst, when they're in an argument. Don't take it lightly. Take it very serious. You can get hurt. 7 people shot, 7 officers. San Antonio is where that happened. I look at this. California is where we go for our next story. There's people on this earth that are just downright cruel, is it not? I go to this next story because it's for somebody that can't take care of themselves. And what I mean by that is animals, whether it's a puppy dog, a kitty cat, or a horse. They have to rely on humans to help. 27 horses found dead, starved to death. They've arrested a woman whose property it was on. 27. I can't even bear to look at the pictures of the one that are still alive. Rattles my soul, it does. And it seems the older I get, the more compassion I am for those who can't do for themselves. And that includes the young and includes the old, the elderly as well. Some shameful things are going on in our world. We hope justice is served on that. The Laken Riley Act has been passed, and you go, well, what is that? Do you remember the young lady that was jogging in Georgia for a morning jog? She come up missing. She was kidnapped, and awful things had happened to her by an illegal alien. That has passed And this is going to stop the way it worked, and I'll read you how this. The Lakin Act that was written by Representative Mike Collins, a Republican from Georgia. It requires ICE to take custody and detain any undocumented immigrants who are charged, arrested, or convicted of committing acts of burglary, theft, larceny, shoplifting. The person that done this had done all the above, I think, and never been arrested and taken into custody. Her life can't be brought back, but maybe it will save others now. Let's hope. Boy, just when you thought you got off the hook, they've just announced in Washington that the House is going to have a new subcommittee coming to town. It's there to investigate the other committee that investigated January the 6th to make sure everything was on the up and up. What information was left out to the public? What didn't you know? They're going to investigate that. We'll see what becomes of it. Maybe everything was on the up and up. We don't know. We'll wait and see what this subcommittee comes up with. Some things don't add up. How could the doors be left open to the Capitol if it was really on a lockdown? And how could police officers open doors? That I saw. You saw it as well as I did. We'll see what becomes of it. It may be nothing. It may be something. Remember that lady I mentioned to you that's due south of us? A little place called Mexico? She says Trump could change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, but the world will not recognize it as that. I don't think she knows who she's arguing with. We'll see how it works out. Now, this just, as long as I'm in my 50s now. Somehow, that happened overnight, by the way, I want y'all to know. But as long as I can remember it, it's been going on for, I think, well over 100 years. Coming up February 1st, we'll see that little groundhog come out. Punxsutawney Phil. We all look forward to seeing what he's going to say, but 90% of the time, we're pretty sure that he's going to say 6 more weeks of winter. Well, there's some folks that want to get rid of Punxsutawney Phil. It's PETA. And they suggest we have a weather reveal cake instead of having Punxsutawney Phil do that. How y'all think that's going to catch on? What would that do to the economy of that little town? Everybody and their brother shows up. Yeah, I don't think America's going to be changing from that. We wish them luck at their adventure of having their little cake, and, well, no one's going to be there to eat it. This is, and I meant to mention this on Monday, and I think it was over the weekend that this happened. We go to Alabama. How many volunteer firemen do we have watching right now? And I bet it's a lot. There's a lot of you that, well, your husband or your spouse or your wife who's in it may be gone, but you've got somebody in your family that does this. Volunteer firemen stop to help those in need all across this U.S. of A. This was a little small town in Alabama where a fire chief pulls over. It's a lady and her kids, I think, that are broke down. They'd hit a deer. He stopped to help. The lunatic in front of the house where it happened starts firing at him. The fire chief was killed for no reason because, well, I guess he thought they were on his land. That man stopped to help somebody do a good deed, and some things can't be explained, the stupidity that is out there. Maybe it's mental illness. I may be wording it wrong. But shooting at somebody for that? Oh, my goodness. Robin, you're right. It is a beautiful sky out there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Uh-oh, just when you thought it was safe to go ahead and buy Netflix, it's going up again. No, I'm serious. Your monthly rate is going to go from $15.49 to $17.99. That's if you don't have the commercials. Now, if you've got the commercials, you're going to go from $6.99 to $7.99. How does that make you feel? There's a lot of folks going to streaming, whether it's YouTube television, it's Hulu, all of these different services. The cable services are about over. You can just about choose the package you want. The world is changing. It's not what it used to be. You don't have to wait till 5, 6, and 10 to find out what's happening in America or locally. And you don't have to wait twice a week for something to arrive in the mail that's a newspaper that's going to be late. Need some overhauls up there at the U.S. Post Office also. Some money-saving measures. As I look at this, yesterday, Indiana is where we go, a truck driver. Now, the American truck driver has always been that guy that's always the light of hope. If you're broke down, a lot of times a truck driver stop and help you. Y'all remember Paul Harvey bragging on the Walmart truck driver? Y'all remember that? We got a bad one. Not everyone's bad, and I want to remind you of that. But Indiana, the man known as the truck stop killer has been convicted of his third murder. He was a truck driver. He's just a bad apple out there. Hopefully he'll never see the light of day again. I don't know this young lady, but we pass along condolences to her family. Anybody ever watched Bling Empire, New York? I've never seen the show, but I'm probably pretty big there. She's passed away. She was a jewelry designer, and she died after she went under emergency brain surgery. Bless her heart. Her family's talking about that now. We hate to do that. And I'm not sure I brought this up yesterday. 39 years old. He passed away also. Francisco San Martin. He was a cast member on Days of Our Lives. Anybody watch that? Anybody watch the soaps anymore? Or what they used to call the stories? I guess they're still hanging on. But that's at 39. That's mighty young to be going away for something like that. What else is happening this morning here? Let me find the name of the town. I want to make sure. Huntington Beach, California. Y'all know where that is? Most of California is considering themselves a sanctuary city. City council got together and they said, whoa, wait a minute. We're not a sanctuary city anymore. Sending a message to the White House. They'd like to work with them. We'll see. Will things change in California? I'm not real sure. Lawanda said General Hospital also there for that guy. Y'all be ready. Some 10,000 troops are gearing up to head toward the border. That's what's coming. As he also says, as we were talking about Huntington Beach there, it looks as though he's probably going to be cutting off funding for cities that claim to be sanctuary cities, and that would be why Huntington Beach is going, whoa, wait a minute there. No longer will illegals be able to run and hide. And this is a controversy in some circles. Most people don't look at it that way because, well, a criminal's a criminal if you're being sought after. Of kind of like a safe zone. Churches and schools where people could run and hide and they couldn't be touched. Not any longer. Police will be able to make arrests there if you're running from immigration. JFK Jr.'s wife, I don't know much about her, and I don't know a whole lot about him. He's up for office there. His wife says that if he is appointed, she will discontinue her cosmetic company. I'm sure somewhere down the line they're saying that her cosmetics use things that she shouldn't, and well, she says if he's appointed, she will stop that. I hadn't seen this yet, but it's huge, y'all. Mona 2 at the theaters. It has topped $1 billion. That's a bunch, isn't it? Must be a pretty good little show. It's animated. Your kids may like that. I haven't heard anybody say anything bad, that there's anything that your children shouldn't see. So far, it's a thumbs up. Now, I've never, number one, I think most people know that I'm not a heights guy, number one. The thought of climbing a mountain just really turns me off. It really does. But I know each year you do it. What I didn't know, you ever climbed a mountain, Odie?
Yeah, but not all the way to the top.
All right, well, Mount Everest, y'all ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did y'all know that they charge you to climb that? And I when I started reading into the story about what I was thinking, oh, maybe there's a $100 fee. No, they're going up on it by 36% this year. It cost $11,000 last year. Now it's going up by 36% to almost $15,000 to climb the mountain.
You got to have a guide, and you got to have some other things.
Whoa, $15,000. Yeah, I think I'd rather go deer hunting.
And then it
Texas.
costs that much because they've got to go rescue 90%.
Got to rescue 90% of them. That's probably a lot of truth to that. The smaller mountains go for a mere $7,500. They're going up to that. So if you're not wanting to climb, I don't know. I had Hank Jr. climb to Ajax Mountain and it didn't work out, so didn't figure it was for me. That's a few of the headlines that we've got this morning there as we look around. We've got a lot going on today. We're going to get into your forecast. Boy, did we get a picture from Newton. Boy, that's a beautiful sky out there this morning. Look at that, Odie. We'll post that in just a second. Absolutely gorgeous. That's from MDOT over at Newton. You know where that sits?
Oh,
If y'all hadn't looked outside today, look at that. We'll be right back with your weather forecast next here at the Scotty Ray Report. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look at our forecast, we welcome WMOX to our broadcast this morning as well. If you're listening there, thank you very much. Today's record high was set back in 82 with a record high of 43 today. Back in 63, we had a low of 8 degrees. 63 was a cold year without a doubt. Today's forecast calls for a high of about 48 in Meridian, 46 in the northern portion, and we'll see 48 down south of us as well. As we go to our east to Demopolis, up to Birmingham, 44, we should see somewhere around 42 there in Montgomery. Livingston should be about 46. Still cold weather through this morning as you'll look at this through at least 10 a.m. That takes in most of all the area watching this morning. Here's the outlook across this great state. Kind of normal out in Texas, cooler weather there out in Arizona, and below average up in the northeast. Here's our 7-day forecast. We'll see 47 to 48 today, down to 22 tonight. Now, not any better tonight as we'll hit a low of 20. That's cold. By tomorrow, things start to warm up. We'll make it into the 50s. By Sunday, we're at 50, and Monday, we're back to 54, and by Wednesday, 64. We go from 12 to 64, only in the great state of Mississippi. Okay, Alabama, you're including this too. My, oh my. 30% chance of rain coming up on Monday and Wednesday as we go ahead through February the 6th. 70, did I see this? Y'all, and let me use y'all several times. February the 4th, we'll hit 70. It just doesn't seem right, does it? Just weird. This just wow. We'll have lows basically in the 40s and highs anywhere from 65 to 70 as we move into the first portion of February. As we look at our fishing calendar, here we go. Today's major times to fish going on now through 9 o'clock. Ought to be pretty good there. It'll be after dark for the next greatest time, but you will have a minor time there at 11:30 to 1:30. Sunrise is happening right now at 6:53. Sunset this afternoon at 5:20. As we look to deer hunting today, here we go. It's an average day. Perfect time now through 8 a.m. We'll have another minor time there at lunch as well. Sunset falling at 5:20. Brought to you by our good friends there at Wimberley Taxidermy. As we glance at radar this morning, let's take a look at that so you'll know exactly what's going on this morning. Let me get over here and pull this up. Here we are as we look at radar. Absolutely nothing showing on radar but cold weather as we look at the temperatures here in Meridian at 20. Tupelo pulling in at 19. Over at Vicksburg, we're showing about 25 in that area there. Not too shabby, is it? As we go just a little north around Philadelphia, we're showing somewhere, it's not giving conditions for there. Carthage, let's see. Well, we had a little rump row there. Let's look at what as we get to Meridian, we'll show that we got 14 on the wind chill. As we go northward up towards Macon, we got about 14. Louisville popping in at 14, and we'll show 15-ish, 16 there with the wind chill around Philadelphia. That's a quick look at weather. We're coming back in about 3 minutes. We're going to be live to bring you the morning show. I hope you'll join us. We'll tell you all things that's going on in the area. We can't do it without you. We would appreciate that. And again, thanks for WMOX joining us this morning. We'll be back in just a second as we get this day underway just for you. Again, 20, wind chill of 14. We'll be right back with the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.